Black Giraffe made this.
Welcome to After Playlist, where we help you discover music that you can feel. I am one of your hosts, Brandon Lee.
Woohoo! Hey, I am Terry. Yo, what's up?
What is up? And speaking of music you can feel, today's bonus episode topic is all about we're going to be hopping on some recent music news, kind of sharing our thoughts while the getting is getting good. I think maybe as they say, I probably butchered that, but you know what I'm trying to say there, hopefully. Today we're going to be briefly sharing our thoughts on J. Cole's supposed magnum opus and final album, The Fall Off. We also, just earlier this past week, just recently had the Super Bowl with a record-breaking halftime performance by Bad Bunny, and we felt it would be remiss not to at least discuss that a little bit in today's breaking musical news episode. So, of course, we're going to be referring to songs from that album. I don't know if we'll know any of the songs specifically from Bad Bunny's performance. I definitely don't. I don't know if Terrio does or will. But that
Y'all
performance, as well as the album, right? the album, The Fall Off, and that performance, we made a playlist for you guys for easy finding and listening to. So that is down in the show notes. Please go check that out. If you missed the Super Bowl, you can definitely watch it. It's only like 13 and a half minutes. And of course, the album is quite long, so if you haven't fully listened to it yet, I totally understand. But again, down in the show notes, so you can find it, and then either before, after, maybe in between while listening to this episode, you can go take a break and listen to that, or at least hop in and maybe catch some of the songs we're going to be discussing and whatnot.
Woohoo! All right. Well, before we dive into this bonus episode, we have our usual After Playlist disclaimers. Number one, we respect everyone's opinion, regardless of how wrong or awful it may be. That includes many people who decided to have an alternative Super Bowl situation. Shots fired, but hey, you get what you get. Number two, these are our initial thoughts and reactions to these projects and moments in music culture. So if we miss something of significance, charge it to the game, not our hearts. We got a lot of feels, a lot of things to process, and, you know, all these things are hot in the press. So, you know, if we have a take that we might have missed something else, you know, obvious from other people, hey, my bad. And number three, we're just talking about the music, not the artist's real life, personal, or cancelable issues. Asterisk. We might get into a little bit of personal stuff, but for the most part, we're just talking about the music itself. And in this particular episode, the music and the significance of said music. And lastly, if you're enjoying the podcast, make sure you give us a like and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Where else are we at? iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music. Basically anywhere you get your podcast. Yeah, Pandora, Pocket Cast for the Android folks out there. You know, feel free to give us a like and subscribe. That is one of the easiest ways to support us. So feel free to give us a like and subscribe there. All right, without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So, I guess, you know, this is a bonus episode, so we don't want to get, I feel like too much down in the weeds. So I kind of just wanted to start with like talking about The Fall Off, just big picture.
Yes.
How did you feel about it? How did you like it? Do you not like it?
Okay.
I mean, we don't have to do like a hard number 1 through 10 necessarily, because if you got a number, I mean, you can throw it out there, but just in general, what are your thoughts?
Okay. All right. So before I get into it, let me give a quick disclaimer. So I like J. Cole as an artist, but I'm more familiar with him tangentially, not necessarily like a super connoisseur of all his music. I did enjoy the Friday Night Lights mixtape back in the day, and I was pretty much by default like a lot of, you know, stuff that he's, you know, featured on. So I can't say that I'm like, oh, this album is better than this album, or I like this album better because of blah, 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 blah. I just know J. Cole as a whole, and he's been fairly consistent pretty much every time I've heard him on any record. So I will give props to that. This album, and I hate to piggyback on a take that I saw before getting the chance to listen to it. So that may kind of give me some little bit bias going into it. At the time of this recording, this is early February 2026. If this album is not in album of the year, I just unplug every speaker, unplug every headphone. Like, music is done at this point. Like you have to give credit where credit is due. I was granted only had one single playthrough so far, so I haven't had a repeat listen yet because life be lifing. But when I got a chance to actually dive into this over the past couple of days, I was thoroughly impressed on multiple levels. But I'll let you tell everybody how much you hate it. So go ahead.
No, I'm a little bit more biased in like the opposite direction because I definitely am, I think, a little bit bigger of a J. Cole fan than you are. I definitely kind of hopped on that train somewhat late. It was maybe sometime after, I think, KOD was his 2018 album. Sometime after that, I'd heard him kind of like you were saying, like tangentially here and there and on features and whatnot. But then after that album came out, I went back and kind of listened to all of his stuff. And I've been a pretty big fan since then, which ironically, the last song on that album is when he first kind of hinted at, I think, or at least was the first time I knew that he was hinting at the fall off as an idea of an album, as a concept, and it being his magnum opus and everything. So it's been 8 years-ish coming, right? I do really love the album. There's so many good songs. There's a good number of really great songs on here. It also is one of my favorite things about J. Cole as an artist is his storytelling.
Yes.
And the way he'll tell a story in a song, and he has that in abundance on this album, which is, I think, part of the reason a lot of people I've seen online maybe aren't digging it as much, because it doesn't really have too many just bops that you can just really go hard ride to and just feel just the beat and the music. You got to really be listening to him and the lyrics. However, that being said, while I do agree with what you said about it being definitely should be at the end of the year, in the discussion for album of the year, it also does, I feel like he kind of set himself up a little bit because he's been hyping it up for so long, and every project he's had since then, before the release of the fall off, he's talked about it in some way about how he has this great album coming out, the fall off, it's going to change rap and everything. And it's just more of what I feel like J. Cole does well. I mean, he does it really well on the album, but it's not necessarily, I feel a groundbreaking album that's going to change rap necessarily in any meaningful way. It's not the way he hyped it up was literally this. And I think a lot of people had expectations for it to be this groundbreaking album. And it's a really good album. It's a great work of art. But I got to admit, I also fell into the trap of having my expectations a little high.
That's what I was about to say.
My first,
yeah.
No, and I recognize that. My first listen through, I was a little disappointed. I've had a little bit more time to sit with it than you did. I've listened all the way through it maybe 3 or 4 times now, and then skipped around a little bit to listen to some of my favorites in addition to that. And definitely actually reading the lyrics and paying attention to what he's saying, it has grown on me even more. But definitely my first listen, I was definitely I don't know if I'm feeling it quite as much. So yeah, I definitely can understand where some people are coming from in that regard, because granted, you should maybe everyone should have tempered their expectations, because it is at the end of the day just a music album. It's not, shouldn't really expect any music album to be groundbreaking, no matter how much the artist hypes it up, because that's part of their job to get people to listen to it.
Exactly.
But it's the length of time and how it's just been hyped and hyped and hyped and hyped and delayed and put off and delayed and promised, and then it finally delivered, and it just fell a little short, I think, to a lot of people. And there's also just a lot of people that I feel don't necessarily vibe with J. Cole to begin with, so they're hopping on that train too of dogging him and not really getting his style. But I still rate it very highly after several listens, I will say.
Yeah, and I don't think that's fair, to be honest, because all right, so here's my thing. Okay, the thing that I love about J. Cole so much that I don't think, I know people acknowledge this in some form or fashion, but I just want to reiterate and highlight, this man is from North Carolina. This is he is, by all intents and purposes, a Southern artist, but he switches so much between that New York boom bap, that sophisticated, elevated not to say that Southern rap isn't elevated because we do got some lyricists down here, but he definitely elevates Southern hip hop to a different level, in my opinion, with his production choices, with his lyric ability, his style. To me, I feel like this album as a whole is what what's the name is what Logic attempted to do with the College Park album or the No Pressure album. J. Cole succeeded at that. And the thing I like the most about it, with me being a little bit older than you and me also being a little bit more entrenched into the hip hop culture, as far as like back in the day and stuff, he took a lot of Southern hip hop, like deep cuts, like some hood songs, and flipped it and made it like actually boom bap. Like the first song, he ended up like sampling an old ass song from back in the day called "Take That Shit to Trial" by Mr. Big, I believe, and that's a hood classic, and he elevated that. And that's the thing I noticed about J. Cole's music. Like he'll take a Little John a sample and then flip it up and put some boom bap on it and like make it like that Logic and Juicy J album, like that collaboration. He marries that style, and that is like that's craftsmanship, and like I appreciate that so much. Like for like on a producer standpoint and his production team, as well as the stuff that he produces on his own, he has been known for that. Like the moment I heard like the song that we featured on way back in episode 3, when he flipped that Janelle Monáe sample, and with him and Wale ended up getting on that. And that Janelle Monáe song was just came out. And he already flipped it up and turned it into that kind of beat. I was like, hold up, what has happened? Like he sampled "What's Your Fantasy" by Ludacris on this album.
Which he also, I'm pretty sure, is like the lead producer for the. I don't know. I didn't go and check to see if he was the producer for every single track.
Well, I'll put it this way. I would say either he's for every single track, or at least like he's collaborating with other producers. Yeah. So, but there are songs that he did totally on his own.
On the producer. He was in the producer seat for some of it, even if he wasn't like the lead producer for every song. For every single song, he was producing.
Exactly.
For sure. And he definitely has his own style. And I caught some of the, maybe didn't know any of the samples, but just the, like I could tell, like, just I hear some of the beats he would use is just like, this is like such an interesting, like how is he rapping on this right now?
Well, that and then also like the what's the word, y'all? I'm blanking so hard right now. The interpolation of like that old DMX song. He used that part of a chorus. He also shout out to ATLiens, Outkast, Me and You, Yo Mama and Your Cousin too. The song with him, Erykah Badu, which I think that's kismet because Erykah Badu and Andre 3000 and all that. And, like that's just, again, there's so many little things. And I think that's the theme of this bonus episode. It's like so many little things that you may kind of like, you feel it, you may not know it, but it's like has like so many little significance. Like he even like sampled like a throwback Lil Bootsy record and elevated. So that's what I like the most about this project. Of course, like the lyrics are on point. He comes with the vigor and all of that. I said vigor, y'all heard me, with a V. But like he comes with the intensity of it all, and with the intensity and just the passion behind it and the storytelling and the relationship. Like I enjoyed that. Now, to be fair, to give a little criticism, I enjoyed everything that I heard. However, it did kind of get a little bit long in the tooth at moments, but
it's a little long. Like I know it's supposed to be a double album.
Yes,
but
yes, I wasn't prepared
it's also
for
like,
it.
It's. I think he did serviceable, but also, as I'm trying to. I've been sitting on like all these like trying to be, because at first I was like going in before I even listened to it, I was like, oh, I just know I'm going to love this thing. And so after listening to it several times, I realized like it is a really good album, everything I said, but I'm trying to still be like, not just say, well, it's not, my expectations were let down, but also be like, what's the word? Like thorough, I guess, in my critique, right? And one thing I feel that is fair to say is like, he's a serviceable singer, but he's not the best singer. And he does a lot of singing on this. And it really brings, like, it's the back and forth, it, coupled with it being so long, kind of like kills I feel like the drive of the album here and there for me.
I disagree with that because look, every rapper right now is a part-time singer. Period. Full stop. Logic, Future, anybody, just any rapper now is gonna get on the microphone and sing. I appreciate the fact that he at least is trying to harmonize. He's not doing all that. He's not doing all of that shit.
That's true.
So he is at least, trying to harmonize, or at least he'll recruit somebody to sing background. I like that PJ made a little appearance. I was like, oh, is that the same PJ? She took forever to show up, but I like how she popped up on there. Yeah, I mean, I like how even though it's a double album, he still handled a lot of the performances, primarily solo. He had guest appearances, but they didn't particularly overshadow him as an MC. They complimented. It was like a good balance of somebody popping up. Sometimes some people hop on a record and it pretty much becomes their record, and you're just like,
most of them were pretty much just like in choruses for the most part. I feel
exactly. Like he went back and
said a little bit at the end of that song.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then the fact he went back and
had a chorus.
Yes, like he went back and resurrected Peter Pablo. Like I was like, what? Now I could have used the verse. Song, I love that song too. It was so good. Like we could have used the verse on the. I love hearing Petey spit or whatever on a record. Like it's been a minute, and I was hoping for some bars. I mean, I liked him on the hook. Don't get me wrong, because again, another rapper that be singing. So I love it. I mean, overall, I was gushing because I was pleasantly surprised. This may be me being not so much of a J. Cole stan per se, that I knew the bar was going to be like he's been consistent. So I knew it was going to be decent. I just wasn't expecting the ear candies as far as like the production that really, with me being more of a beat person than lyric person. Like there was so many little okay, I see how you flip that up. Okay, you changed that up a little bit. Okay, I recognize that. But I just like hearing him giving an homage to his past while also setting the bar high for the future as well. Because the whole album to me, it's a lot of his storytelling, representing Fayetteville and all of that, and you see his I know it's supposed to be about the fall off, but to me, I feel like this is more like reflecting on his life and sharing those stories and showing his growth.
If you understood the what's the word, what the storyline, I guess, of the album,
the
you pick up on what the through line is. Okay, so you got 29 intro, right?
I did 39
which
intro.
Is and then 39 intro. And so the story or the album is a story of 10 years apart, both times that he goes back home, and reflecting on his journey through hip hop and his trials and tribulations at 10 different years apart. So one is whenever he went back home at 29 and talking about, just finding success and dealing with being a new famous rapper in the game. And then 39 is going back 10 years later whenever he's went through all these trials and tribulations, and he's got a totally different perspective.
Gotcha. Okay.
And in a lot of ways,
that makes more sense.
Because of that through line, like you were saying, it does kind of lend itself to, or I guess he was really intending it to be in a lot of ways a love letter to hip hop in general. I think that's a lot of the reason why he used so many classic samples and flips and stuff. This is a callback to people. One of my favorite. That's another thing, man. There's so many songs on here. It's
right.
I don't remember exactly what title wise. But the one where he's talking to maybe Legacy. But the one where he's talking to other rappers who came before. And he's I'm hoping, like he says at the beginning, I'm hoping this inspires you guys to it makes me sad because I don't have anyone else. I think it was only at the top, right before it's the end of the first album. Okay. Where it's I made it to the top, but I don't have anyone else to look at now. I'm hoping this inspires other rappers that I used to look up to get back on the horse essentially and keep making music, because I'm up here by myself, whereas everyone I used to look up that drove me to get here, now all you guys are gone.
Okay.
I just thought that was an interesting
along those same storytelling vibes. I like What If. That was kind of an interesting cut. talking about like what if
Which
like
I didn't
Biggie
fully understand that, because wasn't he like a, was that from Biggie's perspective, or like,
No, I feel
I understood
like,
it was like a what if of if like Tupac and Biggie, like if all that had went down differently and everything, and like just rappers who have died.
yeah, I feel like
what if it was different?
Yeah, I feel like that was like he was rapping as if he were Tupac and was like, my bad, you know, and just basically kind of calling a truce before the media hyped up the East-West beef and like them actually being brothers versus, you know, being pitted against one another. So that's the way I looked at it. I think it was more from because obviously like what Pac died first and then Biggie. So I think the first verse was like Pac and then Pac and then the second verse is like from Biggie's perspective, I guess. I think I was driving at the time while I was listening, but I do like the story of it, like kind of flipping those two. Life Sentence was dope. I actually like that one a lot. That's kind of sentimental. Like doing a quote unquote life sentence with somebody, with your partner. I was like, that's kind of dope.
Okay, it's kind of in that same vein. I Love Her Again. Did you catch the giant metaphor that is that song?
Which one was that one? I mean,
that's what he's talking about, like chasing the girl. He goes to New York.
Okay. Was it like for hip hop or something?
The girl is hip hop. Okay. Which I did pick up on that. I was proud of myself that I kind of picked up on that. But then I saw some people discussing that song specifically, and then like reading what they were talking about. That's actually, and even I'm pretty sure uses dang, I'm blanking on the song title. It was an old Common song. Oh, I Used to Love Her, Her, by Common.
Oh, yeah.
Which uses the same metaphor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I picked up on that
so
one. He sampled that.
He flips that sample.
Yeah. That was dope. Interesting. Okay.
What about Quick Stop?
Quick Stop. Okay.
Right after What If?
I'm trying to remember how
Quick
that
Stop
one
was
went.
one where he's like, he stops at the gas station and the guy's like, you smoke marijuana? And he like giving him his like big ups and he's like super thankful.
Yeah.
Like even on my like lowest days.
Yeah, I thought that was dope because like that was like his quote unquote fan interaction that kind of was like, oh dang, yeah, I used to listen to you in high school and that whole bit. Yeah, that was cool. I mean, around that part, this one I was kind of like, okay, I feel like this is kind of getting to the conclusion of the album,
which it is. That's the third to last song, third to last.
Yeah.
But I was kind of feeling the same way, and then that one like brought me back in, just because it's like his energy at the end of that song.
Yeah. So my favorite song off this whole project so far has been was 2-6, like coming out the gate. Mainly because again I'm biased, because like that like him sampling that Mr. Big, take the shit to trial, bitch, take the shit to trial. You know, that's why he was like.
I think it's also like the most hyped song on the album, so it's definitely, and it's a very strong start. It's a very good. I think that's going to be most people's favorite. To be honest, it's also if it's not my favorite, it's like neck and neck with my favorite.
Yeah, and then
that was really really good.
And who the
I
fuck
like
is
the
you?
Let Out too.
The Let Out.
Who the Fuck Is You is also very hype.
Yeah.
The Let Out, where he talks about going back to visit home and he's like with some girl in a club, but he like forgot to bring his security because he thought he was going back home and he should be safe. And then there's like dudes waiting for him. So whenever the club closes for the night, he's like having to run away.
It was okay. I can't remember the song in particular, but it was one song where I was cracking up listening to it while driving. Like old dude was trying to like talk to this girl or whatever, and these bros keep cutting him up. He's like, okay, I'll get you. Hold on, 1 second. Hold on. Hey, what's up? How's it going? You know, he's like macking to this girl and then. Okay, hey, hold on. Hey, look, I bet. Okay, I'll holler at you. Give me a second. Like he keep like you hear some dude in the background like, hey, what's going? He's like, hey, move on. I thought that was funny anyway.
I got you, bro. I got you. I'm trying to talk to her. Oh yeah. Word.
Yeah, it's like read the room, my guy. Like why are you blocking right now? I do appreciate I don't know who played the guitar and all that stuff, but I do appreciate like the acoustic nature of the album where he kind of. I feel like he's marrying or merging a lot of who he is as far as the up north appeal and then the country side of being, Southern born and North Carolina, and then also a hip hop head. It's just, it's a good blend of all of that. Like, it's not too Southern, it's not too boom bappy, it's not too, country adjacent. It's just like, I feel like to me, this is a complete, again, not necessarily comparing to the previous works, but just this one in general, I thought was pretty solid as far as like sonically, even though there's different genres, the blending of it all, like this is a good portion of music gumbo for me. So I definitely want to go back and give it another listen. I can dive deeper into the lyrics, but production wise, I was like, this is nice. It's a good vibe.
It's definitely one I'm going to be listening to, I think, quite often, at least for the near future, trying to really dive into the lyrics some more and catch all the hidden meanings and metaphors and entendres he may have that I completely missed, as well as just, like you said, appreciate the pretty incredible mixing and flips, and maybe try and do some research and go back and listen to the original songs that he's like paying homage to by sampling them and flipping them.
Absolutely. Now, sweeping segue into some lyrics and symbolism and history of which that neither one of us understand. Let's talk about Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance and its effect that it has had on people. Did you get a chance to watch the video that I sent you?
Yes. Yeah, I watched it.
Okay.
I watched it one time.
What were your initial thoughts on it?
I mean, yeah, it was a very lively Super Bowl show. The visual setup and everything of it, I really appreciated. Of course, at the very end, the bringing in all the like South American flags, because America is more than just the United States, as well as Canada. Of course, can't leave them out. And just the idea of unity and like he had America is love, I think, on the football at the end or something similar to that. Just that idea, even though I couldn't understand a single word he was saying, was definitely felt throughout. Seeing Lady Gaga, which I didn't watch this live, to be fair, so I kind of had it spoiled that like Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin showed up, but I could imagine they were very pleasant surprises if you were watching it live. They did phenomenal. And there's there's a lot of really cool, touching moments, man. Where like at the beginning when he's like walking through the field, and there's like a couple of girls that are like doing nails, and there's like the family with the little boy watching the TV that he goes and like gives the trophy to. And there's just like a lot of just like, I don't know, man. It's just like I just felt human, dude. Like I felt like, again, I had no idea what he was saying at a single point of the entire performance, but I definitely felt connected to him on a level deeper than I expected I would have.
1000%. I'm going to be vulnerable and be honest. I like got emotional, honestly, watching it. I have, to my knowledge, don't have any Hispanic bloodline as far as like in my DNA mixture. I mean, as far as I know, but just watching the performance of it all, it kind of takes me back to part of the reason why I personally fell in love with Amapiano. Again, I don't understand any of the language with that, but I feel the music. The music is kind of telling me what to feel and how to feel, and I guess I'm kind of replacing my own lyrics subliminally. So, and just like the timbre of the performances, it just kind of hits you in different places, and that's why I love music overall. Like that is the communicator, regardless of, you may not be able to speak, but you know how to hit that beat. You know how, like, a good beat is a good beat.
Exactly.
And so your body's going, like, you may not understand it mentally, but your hips might, you know what I'm saying? So it was like one of those kind of things. I watched it live and I went back to watch the whole thing again. And there were moments where I was intently watching, but then I'm like, why am I, jerking a little bit? Like, it just like my body just had an instinct, instant reaction to it. I just want to say, just like, again, not to get heavily political with it, but given the current state of the United States and how so many people of multiple ethnicities have been like wrongfully persecuted, the history obviously of the United States in general, but just in recent months, like seeing so many different things that happen, it's nice to see the human side, like you said earlier. It kind of reminds me of that. And then to get the education, the story arc through a performance, and you not speak maybe a total of 5 words said in English, if that,
All I caught was he
but-
said okay one time, and I was like, oh, I know that one.
like that one, and God bless America. Like I heard that, and all that good stuff.
Those as well.
And the thing is, like, he is fluent. Like, he can speak English, but again, the music don't require it. And I love that authenticity. God dang, I cannot speak. The authenticity. Y'all, okay, leave it in there.
Authenticity.
You know what I was trying to say. Thank you. It's been a long week. Words are hard. Apparently, I can't speak English either. Turn up the closed caption on this podcast. But yeah, like it was so sweet. It was so endearing. There was so much love, so much craftsmanship. There has, to my knowledge, as far as, I'm again, no expert on every single Super Bowl performance that there ever was, but in my recent memory, I have not seen this was a full on stage play. Like the amount of people, the amount of coordination that it took in the movement with the camera and all these different things. Like he had a whole ass like audience on the stage and choreographed that everybody had a purpose. And I'm going to include in the show notes some different deep dive takes that I found on IG. But overall, he basically took he started in the sugar canes field out there in Puerto Rico, and that was like their main export, and it's pretty much like the beginning of Puerto Rico and the colonization of it all, and then showing all the different cultural bits of, the growth of it all, and the sense of community and the vibrance of it all, and the family of it all, and how everybody is doing something to help one another. Nobody's like really trying to like denigrate or drive anybody down, and everybody's just having a good time, just literally just living their life and embracing the culture. And it was just nice to see that. And again, it might be my old age or whatever, but it's like my empathy levels have like turned up. And like when I see some like a group of people that's been like, obviously being a Black person, we go through stuff all the time in this country, but right now with the light being on the Latin Hispanic community of it all as of late because of whatever, it's just very it's just very endearing to see a positive.
It is
just something positive in general, but let alone embracing the culture. And it just really, we needed that, and they needed that more right now than anything. And just to see like with this being like shattering English, I cannot speak it today. With this performance breaking records as far as viewership, and the fact being that a small vocal minority of people didn't want it to happen simply because Puerto Rico isn't quote unquote America, and he's
which
speaking
is
in Spanish.
factually wrong.
Factually wrong, but who cares about facts anymore? Facts and laws are optional right now. So it's one of those things where I'm just like, y'all, why? Like all that hate and animosity, and you gonna do all of that, and you still took the L. Like you proved no point. Like the rest of the world enjoyed this performance and needed this performance, and me just seeing the reactions from various different parts of the Hispanic and Latin communities. Like, it just really warms my heart, especially one that I seen. I'll get off my soapbox because it's supposed to be a bonus episode. There was one clip that I saw that really kind of shined a light on things for me that I just really don't think about because it doesn't really affect me personally, but the empathy is there. The fact that he said Ecuador when giving all the different shouts outs to all the South American and Latin countries and stuff, the fact that he even said that made like this group that was watching the Super Bowl like lose their shit because they're so used to not being acknowledged as part of that down there. I can't speak to the case of it all if it's factual or not, but just the reaction, just the like people don't understand how important. And please, if you don't take anything away from anything else I ever say, please listen to this. Representation is so important. People need to see themselves doing something, acknowledging that they exist, that people like them exist, because it's a lonely existence thinking that you're always the other. People need that representation and just acknowledging the fact that this guy came from nothing. Like, I think I heard like 10 years ago, he was bagging groceries. And this guy is performing at the Super Bowl, standing next to Cardi B and Pedro Pascal and Jessica Alba. Like, what? Like, to have that support to have these people like, hey, can you just be like, just just kick it with everybody else, just having a good time. Being human, fellowshipping.
That's part of the American dream, man. Like,
exactly. And that's what it's supposed to be. Like, I mean, we've all been lied about what the American dream is, but just the premise of it all, come here, bring your hungry, bring your weak, bring whoever. You can have a life here in America. And that's why people want to come to the Americas. Let's get that straight. Because literally, if you look at the geography of it all, the only thing that's quote unquote separating North and South America is the Panama Canal. That was a man-made contraption. We're all one continent. The Americas, plural. And that's why he started from Chile and worked he shot out all the countries, all the way up to Canada.
All the way up to the north. Yep.
Like, because we all are America. We're one America. And that's how we should be. And think about it, we're really one world. And we gotta, all this hate, man. It's exhausting. So I just love the fact that
it really is.
that his music and his performance and his craftsmanship and just the storytelling of it all, from the origins of a nation to, you know, also giving a shout out to New York. Like, there was a thing that it's so many little Easter eggs, which I think is dope. There's a moment where he like took a shot from like this lady that was like at the bar, older lady with like blonde hair. Like, she meant so much to the community, which is crazy. Because apparently, like, she's the owner of this bar in New York. I forget which borough, but like that area, like her bar was like initially was like a members only bar, then eventually opened up and became like a huge like spot for like the Latin community up there in New York. And because the area has gotten so gentrified that they keep trying to force her out of this establishment that's been there for decades. And it's like a staple within like that community. Used to be like this, how you got Chinatown, you got, this community. That was that community there. And a lot of people got pushed out. And she's like holding on to her spot, which is like, again, it's just so much, man. It's so much. And to me, it just meant a lot as a minority to see that. And it's so frustrating, like the initial reactions, because we need to have somebody American perform. Coldplay, not American. U2, not American. Shakira, not American.
It's hypocrisy, which is the people who were saying that stuff, hypocrisy is their bread and butter, it seems like.
Yep.
Not to get too much in the weeds on that, because I know we both feel very strongly about all of that, and I want to stay positive because, I totally agree with everything you said, and just the positive impact that he was both obviously trying to impart, and I think you agree with me, successfully was able to impart on all of the people who watched it. It is very nice to see. I agree. I didn't go into like the deep dives on it as much as it seems like you did, but I pretty much agree with everything you said. The only other thing I would like to point out is the like short wedding ceremony that happened in the middle of the performance was real. I saw that was so a couple wild. Actually getting married, and that is just like the sweetest, cutest thing ever. That they apparently like asked him online or something like a year ago if he could be at their wedding, and he said yes. And not only did he say yes, but he's like, "Hey, I'm performing the Super Bowl. Do you want to get married at the Super Bowl?" And that's just like, if that's not a dream wedding come true, man, I don't know what is. That's amazing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how can you hate on such like a sweet moment like that? Like, I mean, like you said earlier, like giving a Grammy to like this little kid, paying homage to like the kid that falls asleep on the couch. I don't know about y'all, but there's always like, I remember when I was young, you stuck at all these family functions. You're like, I want to leave, and like they won't go. So you just like, so you go like in a back room and find a couch somewhere, and just like pass out because like I don't want to be here anymore. Like, it's like so many little things, and then for him to be doing that while performing, like. And like hitting all those marks, and like, I put it this way, there's performers that can't perform while standing in one spot with a microphone in their face. This man walked all around the field. And the other thing, the grass was people.
That was pretty cool.
It was so much that went behind the scenes for them to pull that off and to do it live. Like, again,
Yeah.
that's like, people don't understand how much hard work goes into that. And for it to be as
It's
smooth as it did,
crazy. Yeah.
that's
I would
a
have liked
huge
to be a grass
undertaking.
person.
Right?
I think that'd be
Absolutely.
pretty cool.
Put me on there.
That'd be pretty
put
cool.
that put that on my IMDb. Grass person
Yeah,
number
right.
5032. It's like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was super sweet. And again, it kicked me in the feels at a time where, you know, the nation's kind of dark right now. And it's nice to have a win and to see others feel represented and to have another culture have their moment in the sunshine. And just think about that the next time you're out there celebrating Cinco de Mayo. It came from somewhere. So think about that.
And, you know, only love can trump hate. Like you can't get down on their level. You have to stay, as much as, you know, it can be satisfying in the moment. And sometimes people who are nothing but, you know, full of hate, you do need to like give them a kick in the ass every once in a while. But at the end of the day, like, getting down on their level will never, they're just going to drag you down with them. You're never going to, you know, quote unquote, beat them that way. You're never going to not beat them, but you're never going to beat the hate itself that way.
Exactly.
The only way to beat hate is by showing love and community and coming together and just everything that you touched on that the performance was about is how, I mean, it was a masterclass in showing what whether you're part of that community, you know, the Latin community that is going through all of that, like exceedingly in these past few months, like you said, or just American at large, but South or North American. It's nice to be reminded that we are still a community. You know, we in all of this craziness we can overcome by just coming together and choosing love over hate, and that's a powerful message that any sane person should be able to get behind.
Absolutely. Like, at the end of the day, if my pigment is different than your pigment, if I got more melanin than you, that doesn't make you more or less human. And whether or not I fully understand your culture or understand your lack thereof culture, okay, everything ain't for everybody. And that's okay. And because it ain't for me doesn't mean that you don't get to have it. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't have that world-centric kind of view. But as you said, it's definitely about love. The only way to beat hate is with love and community. And if you want to join our community, you can go to our patreon.com/Black Giraffe to show us a little bit of love there. It's been a long time coming, but we are finally getting it up and running. It's going to be a little slow burn. Again, it's just the two of us, Brandon and I, doing these podcasts, running our little podcast business that could. So any little contribution would be grateful to help us keep streaming and listening to these songs.
Super appreciative of any little bit. Willing to help us out.
Absolutely. So with that being said, we shall return back to our regular scheduled program. Get ready for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, buddy.
So if you have not been listening to that Bedside Beats playlist, it's time to get to work. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm done.
All right, keep on listening, everybody.
Keep on listening. Oh, yeah.
Black Giraffe made this.